The most chilling words in the universe top HFY stories. The vastness of the universe hides countless mysteries, but none are as terrifying as the words spoken on a remote, forgotten planet known to some as the Last Bastion. Here, amid the desolate ruins of a once thriving colony, humanity encountered something that reshaped their understanding of survival and resilience. Chapter 1, The Signal. The year was 2387. Humanity had spread across the stars, establishing colonies on distant worlds and forging alliances with alien species, but not all ventures were successful. The Last Bastion, a colony on the edge of explored space, had gone silent decades ago. Most assumed it had fallen victim to some cosmic disaster or hostile species. When a faint, encrypted signal from the planet reached a passing scout ship, curiosity sparked in the hearts of those who received it. The message was garbled but unmistakable in its urgency. Against better judgment, the ship's captain, Elena Ward, decided to investigate. Landing amidst the crumbling buildings, her team found no signs of life, at least not initially. The air was thick with silence, broken only by the occasional groan of shifting metal. Then they found it, a single, functioning terminal in the colony's command center. It displayed one simple message: do not listen to them. Chapter 2, The Voices. At first, no one knew what them referred to. The team searched for survivors, clues, or anything to explain the cryptic warning. That night, as they camped in the colony's central plaza, the whispers began. The voices were faint, almost melodic, beckoning them from the shadows. Help us, they murmured. Save us. Despite the eerie atmosphere, curiosity pulled the crew toward the source. They followed the whispers to a subterranean bunker sealed with reinforced doors. Carved into the metal was another chilling phrase: they are not what they seem. Chapter 3, The Encounter. Inside the bunker, the team discovered a recording left by the colony's last leader, a man named Marcus Hale. His face was gaunt, his eyes hollow. They came as allies. Hale's voice trembled. They claimed to be survivors of another world, seeking refuge. We took them in, we believed their lies. By the time we realized the truth, it was too late. The recording ended abruptly, but not before Hale uttered the most chilling words yet: if you hear their voices, it's already over. Suddenly, the whispers grew louder. Surrounding the team, shadows began to coalesce, taking forms that mimicked human faces. These survivors were not beings of flesh but entities that fed on hope and empathy, luring victims with their pleas for help. Chapter 4, The Escape. Realizing the danger, Captain Ward ordered an immediate retreat, but the entities were relentless, manifesting illusions of lost loved ones and preying on the crew's deepest emotions. One by one, the team began to falter, unable to resist the overwhelming pull of the voices. Ward fought to keep her mind clear, focusing on the warning left behind. She managed to activate an emergency beacon and scramble back to the ship with the few remaining crew members. As they lifted off, the colony disappeared beneath a shroud of darkness, the voices still echoing faintly in their minds. Epilogue, A Lesson in Survival. The report filed by Captain Ward was classified, but rumors spread throughout the fleet. The most chilling words in the universe were not threats or declarations of war. They were whispers of deceit: help us. Humanity learned a hard lesson that day: kindness could be a weapon, and survival often meant hardening one's heart. On the edge of the galaxy, where trust could be fatal, humanity found strength in skepticism and resilience in unity. And so, the story of the Last Bastion became a cautionary tale, told around campfires and shared in the darkest corners of space, a reminder that even in the vast expanse of the cosmos, the greatest danger often comes not from monsters, but from the vulnerabilities within ourselves. Chapter 5, The Ripple Effect. The escape from the Last Bastion didn't end the nightmare. The crew carried more than just memories of the encounter, they carried the echoes of the voices. In the days following their return to the fleet, subtle changes emerged among the survivors. Some reported hearing faint whispers during quiet moments. Others dreamed of shadowy figures pleading for help, their faces eerily familiar. Ward, haunted by the faces of her lost crew members, began to suspect the entities hadn't been left behind. Somehow, a fragment of their presence had latched onto the survivors. Fleet Command, alarmed by the potential threat, quarantined the entire ship, the Renaissance, and ordered an emergency investigation. Chapter 6, The Contagion. Specialists from the Alliance Science Corps examined the crew, searching for traces of physical contamination. They found none, but the whispers persisted, growing louder and more insistent. What they discovered was far more insidious. The entities weren't biological, they were parasitic consciousnesses, capable of imprinting themselves onto the minds of their victims. The revelation sent shockwaves through Fleet Command. The entities thrived on attention and belief, spreading like a mimetic virus. The more people acknowledged them, the stronger they became. Fleet Command enacted drastic measures. The crew of the Renaissance was placed in stasis, their minds sealed off to prevent further contamination. Ward volunteered to remain awake, determined to find a solution. Chapter 7, The Final Stand. Ward's research led her to a desperate conclusion: the entities could only be defeated by severing the connection entirely. The Whispers, like an infection, thrived in environments where emotions ran high. Isolation and emotional detachment were the key to starving them out. She proposed a radical plan: take the Renaissance to the edge of uncharted space, far from any inhabited systems, and activate the ship's self-destruct mechanism. It was the only way to ensure the entities would not spread further. Fleet Command hesitated but ultimately agreed. Ward piloted the ship herself, accompanied only by a skeleton crew of automated systems. As the Renaissance drifted into the void, the Whispers grew more frantic, pleading for mercy. But Ward remained resolute. In her final transmission, she uttered a simple message to humanity: do not listen, do not look, remember, and move forward. Epilogue, a legacy of caution. The sacrifice of Captain Ward and her crew became a defining moment in human history. The story of the Renaissance was classified but shared discreetly among military and scientific communities as a cautionary tale. From that day forward, humanity approached the unknown with a mix of curiosity and caution. Exploration teams were trained to recognize and resist mimetic threats, and protocols were established to ensure no one would fall victim to the Whispers again. The Last Bastion and the Renaissance became legends, reminders of the chilling truth humanity had uncovered. In a universe filled with wonders and horrors, the most dangerous threats often came from within. Yet, for all the fear they inspired, the Whispers also reminded humanity of their greatest strength: the ability to endure, adapt, and rise above even the most insidious dangers. Chapter 8, Echoes in the Void. Years passed, and the galaxy continued to expand its borders, cautiously probing the edges of known space. The story of Captain Ward and the Renaissance remained an unsettling memory for those who dared to venture beyond the safety of charted systems. But Whispers don't die easily. Explorers on distant outposts began to report strange phenomena: faint voices heard during long spacewalks, shadowy figures glimpsed on sensor readings, and encrypted messages appearing in ship logs with no clear origin. The words were always the same: help us. Despite the strict protocols Ward's sacrifice had inspired, curiosity continued to get the better of some crews. A few vanished without a trace, their last transmissions garbled echoes of the same pleas. Fleet Command launched a covert operation to investigate. A team of elite operatives, trained in psychological resilience and equipped with the most advanced anti-mimetic technology, was dispatched to the fringe where the phenomena were most prevalent. Chapter 9, The Fractured Mind. The team's leader, Commander Rhea Voss, was a hardened veteran who had studied the events of the Last Bastion extensively. She carried Ward's final message like a mantra: do not listen, do not look. The mission took them to a derelict station orbiting a dying star. The structure seemed abandoned, yet their instruments detected faint power readings and sporadic transmissions. As they delved deeper, the Whispers returned, stronger than ever. Unlike the Renaissance, these voices didn't just plead for help, they accused, mocked, and threatened. The entities had evolved, using fear and guilt as weapons. They preyed on the team's worst memories, creating vivid hallucinations designed to break their resolve. Voss recognized the strategy: they feed on your doubt. She reminded her team: stay focused, they are nothing without your attention. But the station held a darker secret. In its core, they discovered a massive, ancient device, an alien artifact pulsing with energy. It seemed to be amplifying the entity's presence, spreading their influence across the region. Chapter 10, The Final Truth. The team's scientist, Dr. Alaric Yen, theorized that the artifact wasn't merely a beacon, it was a prison. The entities, whatever they were, had been contained here by an ancient species long gone. The Last Bastion's mistake had been venturing too close and inadvertently releasing fragments of their captors. We have to destroy it, Voss decided. Despite the risks, if even one of these things escapes, Ward's sacrifice will have been for nothing. As they set the charges, the entities fought back with ferocity, pulling the team into a nightmarish landscape of twisted memories and false realities. Each operative faced their own deepest fears, but Voss held them together, her voice cutting through the chaos: they are lies, focus on the mission. Chapter 11, The Light of Sacrifice. With seconds to spare, the team evacuated the station and detonated the charges. The explosion tore through the structure, obliterating the artifact and silencing the Whispers. For a moment, the galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. When the team returned to Fleet Command, they carried both relief and a grim warning: the entities were still out there, scattered and weakened but not gone. The artifact had been a dam holding back a flood, And its destruction meant humanity now had to contend with the possibility of their spread. Epilogue, a galaxy united. The events of the mission catalyzed a new era of interspecies cooperation. Recognizing the universal threat posed by the entities, humanity led a coalition of civilizations to establish the Sentient Defense Accord. Together, they created monitoring stations and rapid response teams dedicated to detecting and countering mimetic threats. The Whispers became a haunting reminder of the universe's perils, but they also underscored humanity's capacity for resilience, unity, and the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. And so, the chilling words, help us, became a call not just to caution, but to vigilance and hope, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who refuse to surrender to the dark.